Hello everybody, this is Freddy, and this video will be a part 1 of a 3-part review for my thoughts on Man in Black 3. So here we go. Excuse me. Man in Black 3. The movie was good, it had funny parts, the fact that we get to see these characters again is something, that it's another movie for Man in Black 3, for Man in Black is something, and that in a way Man in Black 3 would help to remedy some of the issues that people had when it came to Man in Black 2, since I've heard that how there were people that didn't like the movie, that they didn't really think great about Man in Black 2. But again, with Man in Black 3, it will help to remedy that. So yeah. Another good thing about the movie, about the fact that the thing of time travel and how that is a part of the storyline and is a part of the movie, will help to make this movie different from what we would usually expect and what we would usually see when it comes to the other Man in Black movies. So yeah, and to see the young agent K in this movie, and to see Josh Brolin portray young Agent K is really good, as he did a good job having to portray what Agent K would be like when he was younger, and that he did a good job in doing that role, and that will help people that like Man in Black, to get more deeper of the whole thing of Man in Black, and to go deeper into knowing more about the character, which is Agent K, and that we do see a difference in terms of how he was when he was younger and how he is now as he has gotten older. So yeah, and that it sort of puts a new dynamic as we see how Agent J and the young Agent K, in terms of how they would interact with each other, and that it would be something new for the character of Agent J, as Agent J would find out more about his partner, and that he would have an idea of how his partner was when his partner was younger, and how his personality was different at that time. So yeah. And I would like to also point out Will Smith and his role with Agent J, as he did a good job with his role and in the movie. With Agent J, before he had to go back in time, Agent J was a good example of someone that wanted to know the truth, because he's been asking about what happened when young Agent K had to go and confront Boris, and that Boris, by the way, is the villain of this movie. So yeah, and that he just want to know, like, what happened to K, and why is it that Agent K, how Agent K is the way he is now with the personality, and that for some reason people didn't want to tell him, even K didn't want to tell him what happened when K had to confront Boris when he was younger, so yeah. And with the thing of having to go back in time, it's a whole lot of pressure on Agent J, since he has to make sure that nothing bad happens to Agent K, and to make sure that nothing bad happens to the Earth, as there's an invasion that would occur to the Earth, and that it has to do with the villain Boris, so it's a whole lot of pressure, and to do all that within 24 hours, as that was the only time limit he has when it comes to him having to go back in time for some reason. So okay, so that's the good things about this movie. And also, I don't want to leave out Jermaine Clement, as he did a good job having to portray the villain for the movie, the villain being Boris. Okay, so I got that covered on the good things about the movie. Now, when it comes to some of the issues I might have had with the movie, some of the issues I might have had with the movie itself would be how there's an invasion in this movie, and that for me it was like an alien invasion again, you know, because the fact that I've noticed that in the other movies, like the Transformers, Dark of the Moon, the Avengers, and this movie, Man Back 3, and Battleship, you know, and that the fact that I've noticed that, and that, of course, I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm not trying to say anything bad, you know, since, you know, I'm seeing these movies, even though I didn't have a chance to see Transformers 3, but I'm gonna see it. So the fact that I've seen the Avengers, I've seen this movie Man Back 3, I enjoyed those movies, and that I understand that how people will have their reasons of, and how they want to, how they have their way, their method of how they want to go about making the movie, how they want to go about the storyline, and how they want the movie to be. So yeah, uh, it was kind of interesting how they went about the alien invasion in this movie for Man Back 3, as it didn't go too much into it. It only just showed how the invasion was just starting, and the fact that it was something that wouldn't really have to happen. Why? Because with Agent J having to go back in time, and that if Agent J was successful in what he had to do when he had to go back in time, then the invasion wouldn't happen. You know, especially if he managed to go and confront Boris. You know, to go against Boris. So yeah, as Boris has to do with the invasion, and that the fact that the invasion was something that was just prevented by, that something that that didn't have to happen, and to how it didn't have to happen by having someone go back in time so that so prevent the invasion from happening, you know. And that was something interesting for me, especially since I've seen movies like Independence Day, how to stop the invasion, having a missile that will be sent straight into the space, and the missile would then destroy the mothership, and then through that the invasion would stop. So yeah, again, that the way they went about the invasion in this movie was interesting for me, and that it became less of an issue. The only other issue, how Men Back 3 may not be exactly be the kind of movie for everybody, as everybody will like to watch certain types of movies, different kinds of movies. But then, of course, the fact is, this is a good movie, and anybody can watch, can enjoy it. That the movie has good actors, good characters, you know, and that it's a well-made movie, and that is something that has to be taken into consideration. And so that's it. So this has been my part 1 of my 3-part review on my thoughts for Men Back 3, and be on the lookout for the next 2 parts for this review for my thoughts on this movie. And so that's it. And I hope this is helpful for anybody that has been planning to watch Man Back 3 or hasn't had a chance to watch Man Back 3 yet. So, and that's it. So thank you and have a good day.